Hi everyone, welcome. Nice to have you all. Please like the video on your way in. Let me fix my screen. So grateful to have you all. Let's get into this. I'm doing a video about Taylor and her exes, Taylor Swift and her exes, and this is no judgment to her. I just thought we could learn from it. I've done video of people on their exes, Britney and her exes, Harry Styles and his exes. So I want to do her, and somebody asked me to do one about her and Olivia Rodrigo, which I'll do one soon. But it made me think, hey, let me do her and her Taylor Swift and her exes. So please like the video on your way in. I'm so grateful for you all. Yeah, so let's get started. I'm going to start with Jonas. And I have pulled up the charts. Just to let you guys know, I have about 14 minutes because I have to make Pilates class. Yeah, I have to make a Pilates class. I'm not doing readings at the end of the video today, but I will do one next week. There was something I was gonna say. Okay, no, never mind. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Joe Jonas, and I'll read his chart. I did put up his chart up here. And his sun is in Leo. His moon, his Aquarius moon. Interesting. Moon is in Aquarius. His rising is Libra. So, Sun and Leo, Sun and Sagittarius are sometimes not that compatible. Because they both want to be the leader. But with his Aquarius moon, we shall see. So, I think this was her first famous boyfriend type. And I feel like with this guy, I get the energy of first I get the Lovers, Nine of Swords by once, and this is what I got. I feel like he was secretly competing with her, you know. It must be hard to date somebody like Taylor Swift because dating somebody in the limelight, but she wasn't really that, I don't think, that well known at that time. She had Love Story, I believe, already out. Yeah, I think she had Love Story out. But I just feel like he felt like he couldn't really trust her. You know, now that this Britney Spears alleged cheating's coming out, I think a lot of Sagittarius can be quite cheaters. Sun and Sagittarius. I don't know what you guys think about that. But I think he was afraid to really give her the relationship what it deserved because he felt like she would cheat on him or just hurt him. But I do think he genuinely liked her and genuinely appreciated her. That's what I get. It's like puppy love, you know. And I think they still are on good terms. So let's move on. By the way, I'm using the Light Tears Tarot. I will be interchanging that between the Crystal Magic Tarot. Next, I'm going to use the Crystal Magic Tarot, and I love this deck. I love both the decks. Hi, everybody. I see more people are joining. So on your way in, please like the video. Tell me how you're doing and where you are watching from. I always love to hear that kind of stuff. If you're a Swiftie too, I love to hear that. Okay, so now it's Taylor Lautner, and I didn't really know that much about him actually. I never watched Twilight. Can you believe that? I never watched one Twilight. I like the soundtrack. It's really great soundtrack. Paramore is one of my favorite groups, but I never watched Twilight. Can you believe that? My sister really was into Twilight. So I feel like I know about it vicariously through her. You know what I'm saying? So Taylor Lautner. I'm going to read his chart. Let's get into it. I remember reading that he's an Aquarius, Sun in Aquarius, so that's very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. Let me close the last one. And Taylor Lautner. So interesting, they're both Taylor. Actually, now I remember seeing headlines about them being like Tay-Tay and stuff like that. So his sun is in Aquarius, moon is in Taurus, and his rising is in Taurus. Very interesting. Wow. That's like very stubborn energy. So let's see what happened with these two. Also, if you're rewatching, please Let me know you're rewatching, what you think. I always love to see your comments. I'm so grateful. We have such a supportive community that I'm just so grateful for. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. So I get the energy. I always say that I feel like Sagittarius and Aquarius in relationships are very compatible because we're very similar. But sometimes we can kind of be too familiar with one another that we don't feel like we can express how we really feel with each other. So with King of Wands, Queen of Coins, oh, interesting, and the Magician. Okay, so there was a secret card underneath the Magician. So I really strongly feel like with this card particularly, let me fix my hair a little bit. With these cards particularly, she was on the precipice of doing something big, and he was kind of low-key jealous of her because he was doing a lot of big things too. I really wonder what happened to his career. I keep asking that question. Maybe I should do like a post-Twilight video. I don't know what you guys think about that. But I feel like something happened in his career that he was about to be big. Both of them were just about to be very big. And she ended up achieving it, but he didn't. And he kind of got jealous of her. I feel like he was kind of stuck in a cycle, 10 of Wands, of feeling like things had to be harder than they needed to be. I see also some kind of anger issues. Sometimes a lot of Aquarius men can have built up anger issues. If you watch Vanderpump Rules, James is like the typical angry Aquarius man. That kind of young energy. When Aquarius, oftentimes I'm Sun in Aquarius, we can feel misunderstood. And sometimes our go-to is like trying to fight the world instead of like taking it in and not really caring what people think about us. So I think he tried too much to care what people thought, and she was like, "Why are you being so angry? Like, why are you angry?" Yeah, I think that's what happened with them. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one. It's actually so fun. I love doing these. John Mayer. Oh gosh, John Mayer. What a character. I'm not the craziest about John Mayer. I think that he has a very ABUSIVE personality, and I think he has just deep issues. Okay, so I'm going to read his chart, his predominant chart. I know that he's a Sun in Libra. I've known that for a while because I don't really gel with Sun and Libras relationship-wise, and he reminds me a lot of some of my exes, Libras. So let's look this up. Okay, his Sun is in Libra. His moon is in Sagittarius. Very interesting. His rising is Libra. So that's like double trouble. So let's pull some cards about them. I was looking at a picture of them together, and she looked so like fragile. She looked so fragile. He looked like all pompous. So Sun and Libras can definitely be quite pompous. I don't mean to be mean. Just saying like the shadow side of it, because we all have shadow sides. So let's see. Okay, so I get, oh my gosh, 2 of Wands, 8 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles. So I see here that he kind of, this is so Sun and Libra, he found her very attractive, and he kind of went after her. 2 of Wands, 8 of Wands. And when he went after her, he was like, okay, now that I've gone after you, you can stay underneath me, I think a lot of her struggle, a lot of the problems she's had in relationships was that the person she's with has felt like they're supposed to be above her, We don't really talk about how a lot of men feel the need, and I'm talking about in opposite sex relationships. I'm not talking about same sex relationships. But in opposite sex relationships, a lot of men feel the need biological need to be the head of the household, you know? So, with that being said, I strongly feel like Taylor, has issues with the men she dates because they have issues with her making more money than she does. Than they do. Like she makes more money than he does. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful you joined. So yeah, I think a lot of her relationships, the guy has felt like, okay, I can date her, but what's the end of the relationship? They start to feel insecure that she makes more money than he is. She's more famous, she's more loved, she's more this, she's more that. Like it really hurt them. And I think it hurt him a lot. So Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I always feel like he feels like about her, she's the one that got away. And yeah, he's the one that got. I wouldn't be surprised if he like drunkenly calls her, drunkenly texts her, and like it's like, I mean, which we've all done. You know, I don't drink anymore, but I have definitely done that. Not really about exes, but just about other people. But you know, feeling like, oh yeah, I missed out on this opportunity. So yeah. Okie dokie. So let's move on to Jake Gyllenhaal, and I told you guys the story about how I used to know his mother. If you don't know that story, check out my personal stories. Actually, I did the one that I did the reading. I did a reading on Jake Gyllenhaal and Taylor Swift like 2 years ago. I think it was. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Wow, exactly, almost 2 years ago. And I said I gave a story about how I met his mother. She used to come to my old job. Um, yeah, so I'm just going to summarize and do a new reading on them, but not have it be as long as the last one. The last one I did was very long and I went into detail and so forth, because people kept asking me, what do you think about their relationship? And is he going to say he loves her? And so forth and so forth. But I actually see him getting married to his current girlfriend. So Jake Gyllenhaal is a sun in Sagittarius, moon in Gemini, and rising in Leo. Interesting. Wow. Very, very interesting combo. Let's see. I'm going to use the Crystal Magic Tarot for this one. By the way, I just recorded some new videos coming out soon. Stay tuned. My microphone issues should be solved. It is Mercury's first day of Mercury in retrograde, so let's hope technology doesn't start acting up. Whenever I do my videos in Mercury retrograde, I'm always ready for anything technological to happen. So let's see. And he's from New York too, actually. I used to live. Okay, so there's this park in Brooklyn. It's very big, and it's called Prospect Park. I used to live on one side, and his sister lived on the other side in Park Slope. And sometimes I really miss Brooklyn. I really like springtime in Brooklyn is the best. I miss it so much. I used to go to the park and go running, and I used to go running in that park at least 3 times a week. So fun, roller skating, and just had the best time. That park. That park has so many memories for me. So, just made me think of that. Okay, so let's see. So, I don't really remember the full video that I did on them, but I can tell you here that I feel like she was really 5 cups upset about what happened. I think, especially her coming from a small town, him coming from a Hollywood background, her coming from a small town, they didn't really understand each other. Knight of Swords, I think in the beginning it was like very fiery, lots of magic, but I think her her beginnings are very humble. And being with somebody in Hollywood is not the same, you know? I think especially I'm a very city person. Anytime I speak to somebody that's like, oh yeah, if I date someone, they're like, I love the rural, and I'm like, they're like, I can see myself living in rural. I end it there because I know myself. And I know that I'm very, very city. I love being in the city. So I think that they had fundamentals that were very different. And he was more of like a Hollywood type, and she isn't. Even though she has friends in Hollywood and so forth, I feel like she's kind of an outsider in the industry, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so with Queen of Coins and Magician, I see her, especially with the Magician, I think she's very good at manifesting. And them also being said, okay, Sun and Sagittarius are one of the luckiest signs I've ever encountered. The Sun and Sagittarius I've dated or that I've known, they're just very, very lucky. And they often like are so lucky that they don't really need to have structure and boundaries. So something happens in their life and they're like, okay, I need to develop structure and boundaries. But they're often just very, very lucky people. And I feel like with that luck, he he kind of, because he's especially older than she, excuse me, is, he felt like she was too innocent, if that makes any sense. And I don't see him being very nice to her when they were together, which is quite unfortunate. Yeah. So let's move on to Calvin Harris. Now, Calvin Harris and her, there wasn't really a good ending. I remember this when this was unfolding and he did that song about her, because I've grown up on Calvin Harris music. I love his music. I think he's very, very, very talented. But I remember him doing something like just that song, You Were the One Thing in My Way. And I was like, whoa, that's not very nice to say about someone. Yeah, he's Scottish. So yeah, I grew up on Calvin Harris's music. I want to say, yeah, I grew up on, because he was, when he started making music, I was like popular music. I was a teenager, so I remember his music from what I know, you know. Okay, so his sun is in Capricorn, his moon is in Cancer, and his rising is in Leo. Very interesting. So I see very strongly here. Okay, I get already energy, and let me shuffle the cards. I have a strong feeling. Two of Cups, Three of Pentacles. He liked her a lot, and he liked her drive, and he liked her. It's interesting that she's been dating a lot of British guys lately. Yeah. I am the opposite. Even though I grew up in England and South Africa, I'm very much like, I don't know, I don't really date British guys. It's mostly American. So I'm the opposite of Taylor. So Two of Cups and Three of Pentacles. He saw, and this is what made me think about that, is that I feel like a lot of British guys, this is just my cultural opinion on the polarity between the two. A lot of British guys are not really intimidated by strong women. And I think maybe that's why she's drawn to British guys. And I think something that he liked about her is that she has strong work ethic. Pentacles about ethic, work ethic, like building. And he really admired that about Six of Pentacles off the deck, because I feel like he thought that they could work together. I do sense some of his energy and his resentment was because she wanted to keep her brand very separate from him. And that kind of angered him, yeah. Emperor, the Tower, and King of Swords. I think her dad has been very strong in keeping her away from particular men, particular situations, and so forth. And it doesn't do well for her in terms of relationships, because the person, or maybe it does, but the person that she's with often thinks that they'll be able to do this together, that together, and then her dad is like, no, you know? And I think, and now she, as she's gotten older, says no. And I think because of that, they kind of develop resentment towards her. They're like, wait a second. Obviously, she does do things on her own. You know, we all are accountable for parts that we do in relationships. But I definitely see this with him, is that he was like, she wanted to keep herself separate from him brand wise, and he didn't want that. He wanted them to collaborate. together. She was like, I'm not doing that. Okay, so let's move on to, we have what? 2 more to go. It's Tom Hiddleston and Joe ALWYN. So Tom Hiddleston, and he's what, Loki? Oh, he's married now, right? I believe he's married now, but he plays Loki from Thor. Yeah. So let's switch back to, did I use this? Yeah, Crystal Magic Tarot. And then I'm going to end this live because I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm going to do my Pilates class. Tom Hiddleston. So let's see. I feel like with Tom Hiddleston, oh, I forgot to do his chart. Excuse me, guys. My brain is starting to be exhausted right now. So. Oh, I didn't look up his chart. That's very interesting. I have to look it up right now because I pre-looked up people's charts, but I didn't look up his chart. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I believe he's married now, from what I saw. Oh, he's an Aquarius too. Interesting. So Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Aries, and Rising in Gemini. Very interesting. Wow, lots of Aquarius in this chart. So I feel strongly here that I just get the energy. You know, Sagittarius and Aquarius, I always say that Sagittarius and Aquarius are perfect. If they are both evolved, that is the perfect relationship. Absolutely perfect. Because we understand freedom. You know, I've had exes, I'm Sun in Aquarius. I've had exes when I need my freedom. They think I'm trying to break up with them or something. But Sagittarius have always understood that we need freedom. So the Queen of Coins, Three of Swords, and King of Coins. Wow. I always say this. When there's two, like the Queen and the Cup of the same element, it indicates soulmate energy. Now, wow, Three of Swords. I have a strong feeling it was very hot and heavy from the beginning, and then all of a sudden they cut ties. Eight of Wands. I think at some point when she was with Joe, he tried to get back together with her, and he always just had something for her. I think in the past 3 years, however, he stopped trying to connect with her, trying to speak to her, and just let her be. But they are the kind of people that if they ever got married, they would stay together for a very long time. For a very, very long time. Two of Swords, Page of Cups, Five of Swords. Yeah, they stay together for a very long time. But both of them kind of were in denial about that. Four of Cups and Four of Wands, they're kind of in denial about that. And I'm telling you, they feel, I think deep down, each of them feel like it was, they could have been together, and it could have been magical. You know, there's always that one ex that even if you're done with them, you're like, you know, if things were in a perfect world, we'd still be together. So, yeah. Okay, I see you saying you want to do math. I'm not going to do math now. I am going to do math soon. I have a reason for it, and when I do it, I'll tell you why. Because I feel like something soon is going to come out about him. I just energetically feel that. I feel like something soon is going to come out for him. I actually didn't do Harry. You're welcome, dear. I forgot to do Harry. I'm sorry, guys. Let me do Harry. And then I'll do, I mean, I've done so many on Joe. I'm just going to end it on Harry because I feel like I've done so many on Joe and her. I predicted a lot of what happened. So if you want to check out my Joe and Taylor videos, check them out. I did a lot. I know, yeah, I forgot. I forgot Harry. Like, I'm missing someone. It's Harry. Okay, so Harry Styles, no, this, his sun is in Aquarius, his rising is in Libra, and his moon is in Libra. So let's see. And I always say Aquarius and Sagittarius. A lot of her exes are Aquarius, and I get why, because we're drawn to each other. Sagittarius and Aquarius are just like we're magnets toward each other. Even with friendships, I often find, except in friendships, they really annoy me sometimes. Sun and Sagittarius, I'm telling you. Because I think Sagittarius can sometimes be very selfish. Aquarius too. Sometimes if I find myself being selfish, I'm like, Hallie, don't be like that. Okay, so Temperance, Six of Cups, Four of Swords. Okay, so I see very strongly here that there was, and I did say this about when I did the video of them, they felt like they could connect on a deeper level. Because at the time they got together, they were both very famous. They were both kind of like the rebels of music, if you know what I mean. And I feel like with the boss of the deck being the Magician, they were so and this is why a lot of Sagittarius and Aquarius understand each other. Aquarius are usually very misunderstood, and Sagittarius are too, in like a weird way. You know, so a lot of people think Sagittarius are flaky and don't take life seriously, which some people could say that about Aquarius too. So because we relate so much on that, we often understand each other. And I think with Four of Swords, they really understood each other like nobody else has understood one another. Yeah. I see that there could have been a possible song that they were trying to work on, but it wasn't clear. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a secret song that they made together that like resurfaces. Six of Wands, Page of Swords, and the Hermit. Yeah, so I see here that they kind of understood fame. Like, they understood what it was like to be very famous, and therefore they connected with each other because of that. But with Three of Swords, I don't think she fully gave it her all, and that really upset him. Yeah. So that's what I have for you all. I'm about to end this live. Thank you so much for everybody who came, who joined. I'm so grateful. I have to make my Pilates class, so I have to quickly eat and then go. I need to strengthen my spine because it's been very weak lately. I've been doing a lot of cycling and yoga, but I haven't been doing like strength yoga, so I really need to do Pilates to work on that. So that is what I have for everybody. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you're replaying, like I said, please let me know what you think. I love you all. Please comment if you're watching. I have 2 videos coming up tomorrow for members. I'll drop like I do on Sunday for everybody else.